Hey guys, welcome back to another video here on my YouTube channel. And for today's video, I thought I would give you an updated look at my TBR pile. Hopefully this pile will last me like 2.5, 3 weeks. I'm not actually convinced it will last me the full 3 weeks, just because I read books so quickly lately. But I thought I would go through some of them and talk a little bit about why they're on this pile. Now, if you know me, you know I'm currently in my cowboy romance era. I have been craving quite a bit of cowboy romance. So when I was looking at books I wanted to buy on Amazon, I just typed cowboy romance and picked up some interesting series. The first one is the Cowboys of Nighthawk series by Kayla Gross. We have Rein Me In and we have Wrote Me In. She's also an independently published author, and if you know me, you know at this point this should just be my tagline, but I love supporting indie authors. So that is what I'm doing by reading these and eventually going to do reviews on them. You'll probably see the reviews for these come out next week is what I'm thinking. But yeah, I'm so excited to read this. This book, I have not read the blurb on the back of this book. I kind of want to finish this book first, then I'll read the blurb and start reading this one. But basically this one, she is coming back to the small town that she grew up in 5 years after her brother died. Now we don't know how her brother died. We're going to learn that eventually. And basically, his family's ranch is having some financial troubles after his father died, and they learned that his father had been not openly honest about all the financial issues going on with the ranch. So where I'm at in the book is his family is running a fundraiser at the bar that he works part-time at to get some extra income, a fundraiser for the ranch. So kind of interesting. And he sort of seems to have a thing for her for right when he sees her in the bar, and he just keeps his eyes on her when he's on stage talking about the events that are happening, and he winks at her, and then he encourages her to go ride the mechanical bull even though she has no interest on getting back on any animal. I also believe, if I'm not mistaken, she is a famous barrel racer, so it should be interesting. And this one follows his brother, and that's all I know about it. I don't know much else. And I don't know if there are going to be more in the series. I should look into it, but if there is and I enjoy these enough, I will probably pick it up. Also, I'm probably going to have read the first 2 books by the time other books in the series come out, so I'll probably just pick it up anyway. The next one is Alive and Wells by Bailey Hannah. Now, when I looked up cowboy romance on Amazon, this book came up quite a bit, but I never fully analyzed the cover, and I always thought the cover had a photo of real people, which it might have a photo of a real person that's just watercolor, but I realized it's so my ick with books is when there's real people on the cover. I don't know why. I don't mind if it's the movie tie-in or the TV series tie-in because it's the actual actors that play, but for some reason if you have a real shirtless guy on a book, no. If you have a sketch of a shirtless guy, no problem, but real photo. But then I looked at it and I was wait a second, this has enough of a filter on it that it doesn't give me the ick. And I read the thing on the back. He's basically a really grumpy cowboy and she is a sunshine city girl, and I have read that trope quite a few times, and if you know me, you know I love a grumpy cowboy, so should be interesting. I only picked up the first book when I was at Indigo because my TBR pile was quite tall. But when I'm done reading this one, I will probably buy the rest of the series and put on my TBR. Also, this book is only $23, which I feel is a pretty decent price, considering there were some books I saw were $30 for paperback, and I was I just can't. The next book is When Javi Dumped Marie. Yeah, Marie, by Mia Souza. No, I picked this one up at HomeSense, which is the Canadian version of HomeGoods, for only $7.99. I thought this one had an interesting concept. Basically, anytime they date somebody, usually they pass by who they're dating with the other person, kind of to get their stamp of approval, sort of. Not in a weird way, just in they're best friends and they just want to ensure that who they're dating is great. Except for that doesn't happen with the person she's going to marry, and he's realizes I've always had a thing for her. She's gonna marry this guy in 6 weeks. So the concept is basically he has 6 weeks to convince her to not marry that guy and to be with him instead. I thought the concept was unique and a little bit interesting and something I've never heard before. Also, as you know, I typically read cowboy romance or sports romance. I've fallen back into that, but I've been trying to find some other contemporary romances that are outside of my normal comfort zone, and I feel this is it. I thought the cover was interesting and the concept was interesting, and it was only $7.99, so I figured why not pick it up. The next one I also got at HomeSense for less than like the retail price. It's only $16.99. Now, I read the first book in the series. I gave it, I think, 4 stars if I'm not mistaken. It wasn't like my ultimate favorite, and it didn't make me want to buy the rest of the books in the series. I was like debating for so long. I was like, do I buy the rest of the books in the series? Do I not? And then I was like, you know what? I might buy it if I find it at HomeSense again, and I found this at HomeSense. So this is Protect. This is part of the Skyridge Hotshot series. It is a firefighter romance, but they're not just like typical firefighters. They are like wildlife firefighters. This is written by Paisley Hope. Now, each of the 3 books in the series is written by a different author, so it'll be interesting to see how different this one feels from the first book in the series. And if I do pick up the 3rd book, then I think I will do a full series review, just because I don't want to just do a review of the first 2 books if I and then pick up the 3rd book later and then do a review. I want to do the whole series at once, so it'll probably be a while before you see that, because I might only pick up the 3rd book at full price if I really enjoy it, or I will wait until it hopefully finds its way to HomeSense like this one did. The next 2 books are also part of an independently published cowboy romance series. This is the Cowgirls Do It Better by Lila Dawes series. This is Redemption, and then the 2nd book is Revelry. I believe it's this book where like her father dies. Also, her mother died, and it seems like he's the guy who killed his mother, so I'm kind of interested to see how that happened. If it was like an accidental death, like there was like a farm, like a ranch accident that happened, or he was driving his car and accidentally hit her mother and that's how she died. And this one, I just picked it up. I don't remember the blurb in the back, but I picked it up because I picked up this one, and I believe there are more coming out in the series, and I think if I do enjoy the first 2 books, then I will pick up the rest of the books when they do come out. The next one is also another independently published book. This is Endgame by Willa Gray. This is a hockey romance. He is a hockey player and she's a doctor. Yeah. At first I was like, it looks like she's wearing scrubs, but I wasn't sure if I was making the wrong assumption. And now that I look on the back, there's a stethoscope, so she's definitely a doctor. This one should be interesting. It's been on my TBR pile for a little bit. I have read some other books and kind of lowered this down. I am going to read it. I also do not remember if this is a standalone. Currently it's a standalone, but I don't know if there are going to be more. If it's going to be a series, or it's just going to stay as a standalone. So if there are more and I do enjoy this one, I will pick it up. And the last book is another one that I also picked up at HomeSense. This is Only in Your Dreams by L.E.K. Wild. If I'm not mistaken, this is a like best friend sister romance. This is also a football romance, and I have not read a football romance since last year, when I only read 2. This will be my 3rd. I think he's a coach, and she's like coming back to their small hometown. She's a city girl coming back to a small hometown. I thought the cover looked cute, concept seemed interesting. Again, it was only $7.99, and this would probably not be a book that I would go out of my way to pick up at like Indigo, just because when it comes to sports romance, I tend to be mainly on the hockey romance side. But when it's only $7.99, like, you can't pass up a good deal like that, and I think I will probably enjoy it. I've had this one. I was gonna say I've had it on my TBR pile for a while, but I actually haven't. It's because I saw it at HomeSense a while back, and then I just put it back because I was like, I don't need to buy more books. And then I saw it again not too long ago when I was there, and I was like, you know what? I saw it again. I wanted to pick it up initially, but I didn't. I'm like, I'll pick it up now. So let me flip it around so you're not looking at upside down spines. But this is my current updated TBR pile. I don't do these videos super often, mainly because I tend to go through my TBR pile so quickly that I don't have a super long active TBR pile. Like I might have mentioned at the beginning of the video, this is like the longest it's ever been, or at least the longest it's been in a while. So yeah, if you want me to keep doing these videos, let me know in the comments down below. Also, if you enjoyed this one, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and notification bell so you never miss another brand new video from me. You can also follow me by going to @RomanceBLVD on Instagram and Thread, and @RomanceBoulevard all spelled out on TikTok. Until the next one, bye!